Hey everyone, Mark and Joey back here on a beautiful summer day here in Ontario, Canada. First time to show. This is where we live. You can see we've gotten rid of the jackets. It's hot and we're loving it.
Showing some skin.
And we're getting ready for the summer. So we are here to talk about, funny enough, hockey. But first of all, a new sponsor, CoolEyeCover.com, which is exactly what it sounds like. Cool sunglasses. And although you don't really need them in the rinks, everybody in hockey is out in the summer playing golf and enjoying all those things. So we recommend you go to the website. We've got a lot of different sunglasses there, a lot of different prices.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been obsessed with my new pair of sunglasses from CoolEyeCover.com. I've been wearing them for golf, tennis, just hanging around. They're a great pair of sunglasses. Got to protect those eyes in the summertime. And, make sure you do that. You can check it out. You get sports pair that helps you play sports. Wear them all the time because it's so light in your face. Or if you're just chilling at the beach or at your house and going outside a lot in this beautiful weather that we finally got across North America, get a pair of sunglasses, guys. Cover up those eyes, protect them, and go to CoolEyeCover.com and find out the cool styles we got at all price points.
All right, and that leads us into the NHL.
Yeah.
And last night was a big night, NHL draft, and we did a show yesterday. I think we almost hit on everybody right in the top.
Well, I did four guys I wanted to really talk about because they're from four different countries, and so I wanted to talk on them. So let's recap where they end up going. First of all, Jack Hughes went number one of the USA, and not surprising there, he's going to join the New Jersey Devils. Congratulations to him. A very good pick. I think it was expected for almost 2 years now. When you have that kind of 2 years built up, you're obviously a really good player and expected to be really good going forward, and I think he will. Obviously, he talks about his favorite player being Patrick Kane, and that's also the player he's compared to the most. Very fast, very great skater, very skilled, great pair of hands, can create his own opportunities, but can also create opportunities for others. Should be a well-rounded player as far as like goals, assists, a total overall points plus and minus type of thing go. He can be on your PK, can be on your power play. I think overall good pick for New Jersey, who is rebuilding obviously. But I like the mix they got there with some other veteran players. I wouldn't make him the leader, which I don't think they will. I think they have some guys that can hold that role for a while he can develop and do his thing, which is simply shine with his skill set. So I think it was a good pick by them. Going to a good team. It's not the worst team in the league. It's a decent team. Yeah. They were good the year before.
Yeah.
So they can actually make the playoffs this year, which is kind of funny with a team getting a first overall pick in the NHL.
You're right about that. That's what the lottery's good for. Obviously, teams don't tank, and they didn't tank. I agree with you. They weren't a bad team the year before. So adding him now, the great thing about hockey compared to baseball, half the league gets in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to improve dramatically to be in the playoffs. And we think that this kid could take that step and take New Jersey to the playoffs. Not a top team, but to the playoffs probably.
They could be an 8 seed or at least around there.
Yeah.
I think that's very highly actually really expected. Like I said, they've been close. I mean, they weren't even the last place team this year, so they were third last, but they were also at one point.
That's actually not too far to the playoffs usually.
No, I mean honestly,
it's close.
It sounds funny, but it's honestly not.
Yeah.
So could this kid bring him 30 and 30, maybe 30 goals, 30 assists? A plus minus is very good. That could push him over the edge. The excitement could push him over the edge. This might help their free agent market. People don't understand that that's a big impact when you go get the number one pick.
Yeah.
Free agents are going to know two things. You're close and you get the first overall pick. So I come to your team. Can we push us into the playoffs?
Yeah.
So I'd watch out for New Jersey. They could be a sneaky.
And as we learned this year, you just got to get in the playoffs. It's like,
yeah.
All the number one seeds went out in the first round. St. Louis, who was in last place in January, won the Stanley Cup. So, in the NHL, it's getting in the playoffs. Lots of teams, the Los Angeles Kings for 2 years rallied out of the 8th spot in their conference to win the Stanley Cup. So getting there is critical. Here's one thing I'm going to say, parents. I run a hockey business. I've run a hockey business for 40 years. I've been a family advisor, and this Hughes proves it. In the summertime, get your kids into power skating. It's all about skating in the NHL today. It's not like it used to be. It's a soft league. The checking's been taken out of it. Certainly the fighting's been taken out of the game. It's a speed game now. Don't worry about playing spring hockey. Don't worry about playing a bunch of other stuff. Power skate, power skate, power skate. Spend your whole summer doing it. It really is. I was GM of a lot of junior teams, for a lot of years of the junior team, and guys who stand out are the guys who skate fast. And right away you get noticed in camps. So,
when
Hughes is proving that.
When you skate fast, you're going to get the puck. The puck's going to find you. You don't even have to be a great scorer, honestly. You could be an assist guy. You could be a guy who just stirs things up all the time by getting up and down the ice.
Yeah.
is a huge skill set. I think Hughes has proven it with the finesse skating that he has.
As did Connor McDavid.
As did Connor McDavid, a Patrick Kane. They shine. They create highlight reel goals because of that skating ability. So Mitch Marner on the Toronto Maple Leafs, if you're local in Ontario, which we are in Toronto here, Mitch Marner stands out more than Matthews. Even though Matthews might have the more impressive shot, the more impressive hands, Marner is the one up and down the ice with the puck all the time. So, yes, get your kids to skating.
Okay, so that's my minor hockey tip while we're in the NHL. Yeah. And a guy like Hughes getting drafted number 1. So who's number 2?
Number 2, I hit the board. I hit right on the button again, sorry, with Kakko. I'm going to say that's his name. Capo, Kakko, something like that. From Finland, though, he did go to number 2 New York Rangers. I thought he would. Number 1 in the international skaters list. Obviously, the best guy probably outside North America. They all knew he was probably going to get drafted here at 2nd overall. At one point, he had such a great buzz at the end of his year that they thought he might take over the number 1. But I think the 2 years of consistency from Jack Hughes, where everyone thought he should be number 1, obviously, Devils went with their gut and took him. But great pickup by the New York Rangers, who, again, might be a turnaround team this coming season. Have not had a good couple of years, but there's rumors of Marner. Rumors they can do some damage in the free agent market. So they go and get this kid from Finland. What a great player, honestly. Been compared to Patrick Laine. Say they have the potential of Laine offense with with better defense on the offensive end. He's a right winger. So that worries me. If you're telling me he has that potential and is already a good defensive forward and has ability already, very impressive to me. That could be a solid right winger for the Rangers going forward. And even in their first year, he can score, he can get assists, he can do stuff at both ends of the ice, which in my mind always gives you a role in the NHL, which is very cool. He could always be a PK guy if his potential on the offensive side doesn't build like they think it could. But arguably a great pick here for the New York Rangers. From Finland, great representation. They've had some great picks last couple of years. Laine obviously extremely sticking out as their top Finnish player, but they've had guys throughout the past, obviously, that have played great in the NHL. So, Capo Kakko is what I'm going to call him, whether that's right or not. Great number 2 pick. I think a lot of potential there. I'm excited to see what he can do in the NHL for the New York Rangers, which it's a hostile market, so good luck, kid. You better perform.
The key is for him, though, New York does a couple things. One is if he is as good as he looks, huge marketing opportunities in New York.
Yes.
Secondarily, the league needs New York to be good. Biggest market in the NHL, but
most
certainly in the U.S. In the U.S. where it continues to build. I'm so excited to see so many players from the U.S. in the draft and getting drafted, just like we were, the amount of Canadians being drafted in the NBA. This is how sports grow. This is how they get bigger. The NHL, we've been looking for the NHL. It's bigger in the States over and over again. And him going to New York needs to be a good team. They're a highly public team. They're on TV all the time. They have the best markets. People follow them. Original 6 team. Important for the NHL. So we're glad to see this kid go there. We're really hoping for success in New York.
And he's pulled through in the clutch before. He had a bunch, 5 points in 5 playoff games, and then he even scored the game-winning goal in the World Juniors with a minute 26 to go to win the gold medal. So he's been clutch before. Can he do that in the NHL? We certainly hope he can. I think it's a great pickup for the Rangers. And you're right, very important that they continue to win.
Yeah, exactly. So number 3.
Number 3 is actually, I was wrong. I had my number 3 pick being a defenseman from Canada, which was Bowen Byram. He ended up going number 4. Number 3 was Kirby Dutch. Don't know a lot about him. He's a center. Going to Chicago from Saskatoon in AHL. He's a pass first, then shoot kind of guy. In the NHL, that could obviously work very well.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're good at setting up great
players. They have enough scores.
Well, that's the thing. Going to Chicago, maybe that's why they looked at him.
Guys.
Obviously, going to Chicago, like I said, maybe that's why they looked at him. Because they got Kane, they got Taves. Or maybe looking for a guy to set them up. Very interesting pick. But I want to go to my pick, who I thought they should have taken, which is Bowen Byram, which was a defenseman.
Well, don't skim over.
Well, I want to talk about my guy.
Blackhawks are another original 6 team.
They are.
A couple cups in the last few years, but bad last year, not making the playoffs. This kind of guy, like we said, setting up that scoring would be critical for Chicago. Yeah. Another big market, and I keep talking about that because we love the game of hockey, and big markets in the U.S. help promote it, and he's going to the right place. I think it's a good move for him and a good move for the team.
He's 6'4", too.
Yeah.
So that's kind
Someone
of...
else can get in the corners for the
That's
Stars.
NHL ready at 6'4", but I'll tell you this, he had double the amount of assists that he did at goals, so it tells you his mindset. He had 23 power play assists. So I'm sure that's what they're looking for, is obviously... on the offensive end? Can he set up the guys they spent so much money already on? And obviously, that's going to help him because if Kane doesn't have to create his own goals, if Taves doesn't have to create his own goals, and all these guys up front on Chicago can get a guy who can set them up, obviously that's huge. Just like Marner on the Leafs. Again, I'm going to go back to him because he's your new traditional type of player. Can get the puck to scores, which has become very, very valuable because scorers want to shoot. They don't want to do the dirty work.
And having the right, like not having the ego to want the puck. So this kid, he's already a passer. That's why Chicago looked at him, is the fact they already have guys with big egos who are superstars in the league. Puck. You don't need a rookie wanting to do the same thing. You need a rookie to get the puck to those guys. So I think there's a smart move on the Blackhawks to do that.
Let me talk to you about this.
I think that's going to happen.
They need a defense, so I didn't really understand. Like, what I want to know what they're going to do on the defensive end. Their defensive core is all right.
Goals.
I guess.
I'm a score first person. I like offense.
Yeah.
You know what? The best defense is a good offense. I don't mind. I go back, and you're not old enough. You weren't around when it was happening when Gretzky joined the league and the Oilers. And Grant Fuhr made the NHL, or made the Hall of Fame with over a 4.0 goals against average because he just stood back there by himself, just saving the day. But they always scored 7 or 8 goals, so it doesn't matter. The Leafs are pretty similar to that. They score a lot of goals. That's what gets them there. Maybe a bit of a challenge to playoffs.
Come playoff time.
But I love watching them, and I think Blackhawks is a good.
Tell you what, come playoff time, games are close. They're low scoring.
You can make trades. And think about the playoffs. Once you know you're going to get there, whatever, you can make some real strategic trades that can help out on the D side, maybe goalie, whatever it may be. You know what? You got to score goals. You can't win the NHL without scoring goals these days. It's not a soft, low-scoring league any longer. A tough, low-scoring league any longer.
Yeah.
I like the play.
Let's be honest. This pick came from the fact that Taves and Kane are aging every year, and they want them to do less work, and they want them just to score simply. So that's really why I think they made this pick.
Smart move.
And I think they figure they can probably get some veteran D at cheap prices to go on the blue line. But my pick ended up going number 4. Bowen Byram, I thought would go number 3 to Chicago. I was going to go number 4 to Colorado. Great pick. Again, another team, so much talent up front. I think this was very smart pick by them. Get a good defenseman, an offensive defenseman too, but it has obviously a great position on the D side. He reminds me of Morgan Riley. As you notice, a lot of Leaf references. They're the team I watch the most. But again, Morgan Riley, Bobby Orr. You know, Morgan Riley almost broke Bobby Orr's records this year. So that's why I'm comparing him, because he's the modern day defenseman, really. A guy who can do it on both ends of the ice, can skate like crazy. I think he can have more defensive presence if they ask him to, because of how talented they're already up on the offensive side of the puck for Colorado. A great power play type of guy for me. Physical if he needs to be, which is big in the NHL. Big kid, 6'1". I think that's pretty solid on the defensive end. But can play physical, which means not afraid of grown men, I don't think, in the NHL. Could be a good power play guy. Could put up good numbers on the offensive end to go with it. Good skater. I think it was a good pick by Colorado, who needs defenses, because they have Nathan McKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog. Their offensive side is huge, and they needed someone like this from Canada, Vancouver, BC, born and raised there. So I think this was a good play by their part.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Joe Sakic, who knows how to play to the crowd.
That was funny.
So he may even got some fans that'll travel from Vancouver to Colorado to watch when Vancouver's there. He obviously upgraded the Vancouver attendance, because every time they come to Vancouver, they got 2 guys from BC, and he got the loudest roars of the whole day by choosing 2 guys from Vancouver while the drive's in Vancouver. I hope they're as good as it wasn't just PR stunt. I'm sure it's not, but it turned out to be a great PR stunt, actually. And I'm sure the Canucks are happy about that, because like I say, when these kids come to town, their crowd's going to be bigger.
Yeah, I think this kid's legit. I mean, first of all, Colorado, playoff team, and got a 4 overall pick.
Yeah,
I mean,
no
wow,
kidding,
that's what a steal that is. Got it from Ottawa. But yeah, no, for me, I think this was a good play by them. I don't think it was for the crowd at all. I mean, led the league in overtime goals as a defenseman. Had so many points. It's unbelievable. He's comfortable in traffic and under duress, which is very important for a defenseman as you're handling the puck coming out of your zone. I just think the upside of this kid is huge. Like I said, I think your modern day Morgan Riley defenseman is going to be happening a lot, as it's an offensive driven league. But I think the ability for him to play physical and stay back and listening to orders from coaches, knowing that they got offensive talent in Colorado, I think it's just a good pick overall. I think he was happy that he saw Chicago pass, to be honest with you. And I think he got a steal here at number 4. A playoff team getting number 4 pick is always a steal, but this defenseman, I think, is going to be great. He's going to be on a rookie contract for 3 years. Well, Colorado's already very, very good.
Yeah.
So that means he's very, very cheap. And I think the power play and the offensive ability of Colorado going forward, you're going to see in the playoffs, I think, consistently for the next couple of years with all these young talent.
And you made a point that we actually didn't expand on was this overtime in the NHL now. You know, having defensemen that can score, so you can have a defensive guy on the ice with you do forward 3-on-3, but he can also score is huge. And it also goes back to the number one pick of the draft, Hughes, with that speed. You know, there's a lot of times in the NHL, and be able to win in overtime is a critical differentiator. Lots of times we look at the standings and go, wow, they picked up, I think the Leafs last year were horrible at it.
They only had one overtime game.
If they can get wins out of that, those are extra points are critical.
Definitely extra points in regular season and go to the overtime games. But more importantly, what this type of defenseman, the reason why this type of defenseman has been created and is so important is there was a time when they put offensive players on defense, on power plays, and in overtime. Well, now, instead, you have a guy who knows the defensive role, but so offensively, you have a real defenseman next to him. Yeah. And this guy can do both. That's where this style of defenseman became so popular, was they put forwards back there, and they look so horrible and so uncomfortable being on the blue line there, that now they've just gotten these defensemen and said, hey, learn to play offense. We want it. We need it. We need an overtime. We need it on the power play. And now these are the type of guys they have. But the value of these guys is they know on the defensive end how to handle the puck under duress, how to get it out of the zone. So on those power plays, it's not some offensive guy going, oh my God, like what do I do? Yeah. So that's why these guys are important. I think he's a huge benefit to Colorado. Good for Sakic for playing to the crowd. And just an overall win, I think, in this pick here. And he was my top 3 picks, so he went number 4.
Let's look at number 5 as well, and we're going to go more quickly over this first round.
Well, we'll look at number 5 because I want to jump to number 10, who I talked about yesterday. He went at number 10. I was wondering where he would go. But number 5 here, Alex Turcotte, center for the LA Kings. The LA Kings, really, really bad for a while now. I don't think he's going to really change this team, to be honest with you. He's small. He's 5'11". I think he's a good player. I think going forward, a good player. But as far as Hughes can actually make a difference in New Jersey. Yeah. The Rangers pick and Cackle can make a difference. I mean, the first 4 picks, make a difference. Chicago's makes a difference. This kid does not.
Bit of a surprise that he was taken here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think LA's in the position where a 5'11" forward is changing your team to a playoff team or even really moving forward. I think. Yeah. They're bad in too many areas. I think they kind of went old and didn't work out. I mean, they got big contracts. They got Doughty in a huge contract. They got Kovalchuk in a huge contract. Their goaltending is really, really bad. I mean, they're looking to the future. I know that's what they're trying to do. And like I said he'll be a good center, I think, going forward. But I don't think he's a difference maker.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I think he's a guy that still you have to build around. And ultimately, this is a guy that maybe 5 years from now, you're seeing that is very valuable. And, he's going to replace Jeff Carter and Anze Kopitar and all those guys. But as of right now, they're going to be last place again.
Yeah, so who's number 6?
Well, congratulations to him, though. Hey.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. Always.
Detroit went with a defenseman from Germany. I think that's a good play. 6'3", big kid, 208. I think he could be a good force there. Another team that I don't think is going to make improvements very fast. I think they got some good parts to their game, but they're very, very young. I think, they're dangerous. I'd say 3 to 5. They're very, very dangerous.
Well, last year they won some surprise games, I would say. So that tells you that they got potential, right? Like
they're a tough beat, but they lose. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they're not quitting. They're a tough beat, but they're gonna continue to lose. This kid's from Germany though, already played pro. That's always interesting.
Austin Matthews, we know that too, right?
I think the kids coming from pro might be your new value. They have experience. They've played against men. I like the defensive pick for Detroit. I think that's how they were so great for so many years under Babcock, was they were always so strong in the defensive end, and they're always strong in the European market. Yeah. It's been their thing. So from Germany pro, I think he's a good player. I just think the team's not good enough to matter right now. Yeah. He's a good player. I think you're going to see a lot. You're going to see a lot going forward. But he's your guy. You don't want to hear his name. And what I mean by that is he's not going to do anything on the offensive end. So you hope you never hear his name, meaning he's doing great stuff on the defensive end. He's the guy who's blocking shots, making poke checks, plays the PK. I think he's that kind of guy for them. Has good plus and minuses, but he doesn't put up a lot of points. So he's not your traditional offensive one, but he's your guy who's going to stay at home for you. I think he'd be very important to them going forward. In the meantime, I think there's still a team that's going to miss the playoffs, get more young guys. 3 to 5 years down the road, watch out.
Number 7.
Number 7, Buffalo. Poor kid.
Oh my God, yeah. Hopefully,
poor kid.
Can we please have someone help
Although,
Buffalo?
they're first place one point this year. They were in first place 1 point.
I don't know what magic dust got put on them for that little. Well, it wasn't little. What was it, like 19, 20 games or something?
They went on
and then they went back to be a Buffalo.
The longest winning streak in like NHL history.
Yeah.
It was
God.
weird. This kid though, what a pickup! First of all, I want to say he's from the Yukon Whitehorse, which is in Canada, by the way. He's the first player ever to be drafted from there. Played in WAHL in Lethbridge, which is in Alberta.
Alberta. Yeah,
my God, I'm sorry.
It's very cold there, and we lived in Alberta. It's very, very cold in the Yukon. Lots of ice all the time. You can skate on the sidewalks, for that matter. So great for this kid to come out of there and make the NHL at such a high position.
He's a centerman with a powerful shot, good speed, and good size. At 6'3", like I said. I think it's a good pickup for them. I think the Buffalo Sabres are still getting better. I think they already got Jack Eichel and a couple other guys kind of locked in, and hopefully they can build around that. I don't know if offense was what they needed. I felt like it might have been defense, but if they were trying to just go for a juggernaut offense, this kid could do it at 6'3". Like I said, the way he can shoot and the speed, I think, is a very valuable play. Could be a force up front. And anytime you add speed with size and a shot like that, reminds me of a Matthews, a right-handed Matthews.
Right.
So I think that's...
Look how quickly that changed the league.
Yeah, I think that's what he could be. He could be a line A too, for sure. So I think he's more of a guy, though, that will need the puck given to him, but 84 points, 34 goals, 50 assists.
And what were we talking about? Just
very impressive.
A few picks ago. Offense could get you to the playoffs, which is all Buffalo really wants at this stage. You may not be able to win with just offense in the playoffs, but it can get you there. Half the league makes the playoffs. It doesn't take a whole lot to get a team that won 20 games in a row last year to the playoffs.
I tell you what, on paper, I'm predicting a playoff team.
Yeah.
And very well, if these kids stayed hot in the playoffs, next thing you could see them is going deep in
Well, St. Louis did
if these kids stayed hot in the playoffs, you could very soon see him in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, I think so.
Because this, on paper, has an offense definitely for playoff bound,
yeah,
and maybe a run in the playoffs.
A little bit of a hot goaltender in your.
Edmonton made a good play. They went defense, which they need to go defense.
Talk about a team that's been disappointed. They got the best player in the league and they can't get in the playoffs.
You know, a great skater, left-handed shot from Sweden. I like that. Both ends of the ice, very, very good. Complete defenseman as far as I'm concerned. 6'3". Could be offense, could be defense, but more importantly, a defenseman. I think they need defense in order to get to the playoffs here. I think the offensive side, they've proven they can do it. They've also drafted a lot of offensive skill players. A lot of them aren't around no more. Yeah. So clearly something's not gelling. So in my mind, I'd build a defense right now and tell Connor McDavid, we need you in the offense to score 2 or 3 goals. And I think that's the way they need to go. So they're trying to go that way. They went with a good defenseman who's good on both ends. Could probably put up 20 and 20. Meaning 20 goals, 20 assists. Your sports fans already know that. 6'3", I like it, from Sweden. Not much to talk about there, but I am happy that they're going on the defensive side. I think they need to continue to do that.
Yeah.
Anaheim Ducks, what a mess. What a mess at Anaheim. I cannot believe that they're all of a sudden they're rebuilding. Like, they were cup contenders for so many years. And 2 years ago, they were cup. Even this year, I think they decided to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. They're completely spiraling out of it. They are going to buy out Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaff. Who knows? He's probably done. Ryan Kessler's probably done. They needed a center, I guess, to fill those roles, but they're a long way away from coming back. They got a centerman who's going to fill that role in the immediate future. He's a good player. I like him. He's good puck presence. A good vision. He's not a tremendous scorer. Great assist, though. He can pass the puck. I don't think that's going to matter early on, but going forward, if they can build around him, can rack up the assists, and I think overall could be a good player down the road. I'm not hyped on him, but I think could be a good player down the road. I think, though, they're in shambles right now. It's an organization that needs to figure themselves out quickly.
No kidding.
With the players they have, I don't know if I'd go for the total rebuild. They are, I think, but I wouldn't go for that. They have good prospects. They got this kid. They might be a 5 year down the road player, so they're trying to get rid of their old guys to build towards that. So, could be there. They could be a dangerous team going forward. I think they're a couple years away though, but they got good prospects. This is a good kid. I think that's not bad. 6 foot though, kind of small in today's NHL.
No kidding, yeah.
But 60 assists, good face-off, good puck presence. I don't think he's a corner guy anyway, so I think that's okay.
Not at that size, he's not.
So the round of the top 10 ends with my guy. I wanted to rush this guy because I think he's the dark horse of this draft, and I said it in my draft preview. I don't know why, but he's got me hooked that I just think he's a shocker down the road. And first of all, I want to start off with the fact that he's 17 years old, so that's why. He's from Russia. I think Russia's been very good in the NHL. If you want to talk about the outside North America, the one country that's dominated the NHL, it's been Russia. These kids' stats suck. I'm going to be honest with you. They're not very good, and he gets frustrated, takes some penalties. The skill I've heard about him, the look of him, I just have a star in the making, I think. I feel like he's a ways away, but so is Vancouver. I just think the timing is perfect for Vancouver, and what a pickup, I think, in my mind. A guy who has such bad stats, but has all this hype, that's natural ability. That's not, he needs to improve. That's natural ability, but needs help. He needs guidance. He needs an NHL organization to work with him. Vancouver had the Calder Trophy in Elias Peterson this year. Played great. They're a young team on the huge come up. I just was hyped on him because I think when you get this much hype and you don't put up any points, that means people can see natural ability, they see skill, and that's not potential, that's just, it's there, and someone needs to extract it. That's all it is. So I was interested to see where he'd go.
Hey, when scouts pick a guy to go and they pick him number 10, like you say, over and above what we would see in stats, all that kind of stuff, he's showing something that everybody loves.
I mean, he had 11 points in 6 games, which is still pretty good, but it's not what they want, but they still are hyping him. And that just tells me, man, the natural ability is there, and you can't pass up natural ability because all it takes is someone to extract it from you.
Especially 17 years old.
At 17 years old. And so I just think the Canucks really got to win here. I think they're a team that's patient enough to work with a kid like this who needs to calm down a little bit, take some untimely penalties. That's maturity. He doesn't have the ton of points on the biggest stages in the world. That takes maturity. But he had good at the Helsinki Cup, the Gretzky Cup in August there. I think he's good going forward. I think Russians have been very, very successful in the NHL. I think this is the type of team that looked at it and said,
greatest scorer next to Gretzky. So
Wayne Gretzky. And this kick, a left-handed shot these days in the NHL is very successful. He reminds me of a Malkin, to be honest with you. He's not as big. He's only 6'1", but his skill. No.
Well, he's not that kind of scorer,
right?
Ovechkin,
come on. He's already in the KHL under contract. So,
they like something there.
Yeah, but I just think he might even go there for those 2 years. I just think this is the team that was the right fit. I think they can wait. They will wait. They're the team who's looking towards the future. And in 5 years, my God, maybe sooner, this team could be really something in Vancouver here. But I just like this kid. I think not only do I like it, I just think he's the most unpredictable of the draft. So I think that's why he was my most excited. And I was really interested to see where he'd go. I think it's the most natural ability you have there that hasn't been extracted yet. Obviously, Hughes has natural ability. Obviously, all these kids have natural ability, but they've all shown it a little bit. This kid hasn't. So in my mind,
it's good on Vancouver. The number 10 spot. If the draft's not horribly deep, it's when you use that pick in something like this, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have picked in the top 5. There was clear top 5 guys. But this is where you take a chance on a guy like that is in this kind of pick number. Good enough that you could say, hey, we got number 10, got this guy. He could be a great player. And if you didn't, no one's going to remember.
Right.
So not a bad deal. And you got a team that can wait. You got a team that's on the build. All of that seems to fit. So there you go. Our top 10. As you can see, we know lots about hockey, we think, and we'll see how those top 10 go. But I think that it's going to be very exciting to watch them this year. As we know, unlike basketball, which kind of makes the draft a little less exciting, a little less unknown, because basketball, one player can change a whole team. That's not the case in the NHL. So all these guys have got to build in.
I agree.
And make their whole team better to really get bigger. But the good thing is, 16 teams make the playoffs.
And
once you get there, you never know.
Those first couple teams are not your total trash. To be honest, like the way the draft lottery went this year.
No kidding.
Your first team that you go, man, was total trash and the pick won't matter is the LA Kings at 5.
Yeah.
That means the first 4, they could have that impact. So we'll see going forward. I think Colorado was the biggest winner today. Byron, man, I think you got a hit there and you're going to be in the playoffs really, really soon, which is exciting if you're a draft pick. So
we're looking forward to watching these guys come September. Will be very important on the camp. What's going to happen over the summer? Some trades.
And quick point out, our Leafs team had no picks, so that was really exciting.
Yeah, so we don't have it a home thing. However, they've staked it all on the current. So that's when you don't have picks, is when you've gone out, used your picks to get the team you have now. Now we just have to perform. So actually some trade rumors on the Leafs. We're going to do a separate show on that quickly because they're our team. And otherwise, it was great to watch the NHL. It's great to see these kids we know these kids. They followed along.
Finally
Most of them are your age or younger.
So
we've known about these kids. Again, I have a hockey business, so we've been close to it. Great for these. Great for the families. Parents put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money into getting these kids to this point. Traveling with them, doing whatever they had to do. So, you know what?
What do you say?
Congratulations to the parents for accommodating this dream, pushing the dream, helping your kids make it, putting everything on the line for them to do that. So lots of times the parents don't get noticed in this situation. So as a parent who's working on a player's dream, I congratulate them that these kids got drafted, that they're going to do well, and we're going to hope they do well in the NHL.
That first check is yours.
That's right. Parents always take the first one. Anyway, that's it for the NHL draft. We'll look forward to following up on NHL news as it happens over the summer. Most of the time, it'll just be vacation, other than some free agents. So, but it sets up exciting for next year, and that's what we're looking forward to. So, have a great day, and we'll be back on the NHL whenever we see something to chat about.